Better me. Well, one of you's gotta make at least one motion tonight, though.
Not me.
So I can post this tomorrow.
There you go.
Did you watch any of that game last night between the Bills and?
Heck yeah.
Well, I didn't. I got said, oh, this game's over. I went to bed.
Me
And I
too.
woke up in the morning and I was, holy cow,
They won. Got 22 points in the fourth quarter in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You're obviously not talking about the Lions.
Steelers won.
Yeah, and they won.
That was a good game too.
Well, they won on a fumble on a kick return and something else. They shouldn't have won.
Of that
But they
13,
won.
They did.
of that $13 million quarterback, which could buy, dude.
Just
1
fine.
minute.
I agree.
Detroit looked bad on both sides.
Yeah.
I forgot why they
Say
did
what,
it.
the Blacks did look good. Aaron Glenn.
We were supposed to have the greatest, we got the backs and stuff.
Yeah.
Terrible pain.
First week.
Yeah.
This is a good
Well, the other company came in first, they too.
All right, let's call this meeting to order on September the 8th at 7 p.m. We'll start the pledge.
I
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or subtractions?
Hearing none, I'll make the motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public time, 3 minutes for anything you'd like to speak about.
I do not have a library report this
Okay.
month because we didn't have August meeting. But I'd just like to say, visit the website, continue to look at all the wonderful programs that the library offers, and feel free to attend our next board meeting, which is Thursday, September 18th. We'll be at our new location, which is the American Legion, and it starts at 10.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Thank you much. Anybody else?
Are you taking comments?
Public time.
Yes, please. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I wanted to address some.
State your name, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Heidi Helfer, and I'm in Lapeer County. I want to address some misconceptions that seem to be out there regarding the duties of a library board. The role of the library board is mostly to ensure the library is being sufficiently funded and that the librarians and staff are supported in maintaining a functioning library that reflects the needs of its community. What a library board should not be doing is determining what books are in the library. The fact that the board member majority is trying to do this is highly irregular and infringes on our First Amendment rights. They are undermining the ability of librarians to utilize their expertise in choosing books that reflect the interests of this community. Librarians acquire books based not on their own personal preferences, but on the needs of the community they serve. They support parents in having the opportunity to decide for themselves what their children read. The board member majority claims it wants to make sure that parents have control over what their children read, but their desire to censor books does just the opposite and actually breaches our First Amendment rights. Parents shouldn't have to worry about their rights being usurped by anyone who wants to promote only their own beliefs. Another point I'd like to make is that the members seeking to censor books have engaged in scare tactics intended to make the community question what materials are in our library. An example of this is unfounded claims that there are materials in the library that haven't been vetted by the librarians. Not only is this inaccurate, but it's an insult to the librarians. They've been trained to research materials before allowing them into the library collection. Also, with regards to scare tactics, I'd invite you to look into how many people who worked in the library have left. This isn't coincidence. There is documented evidence that the board member majority have engaged in harassment of anyone associated with the library who openly disagrees with them. Please take these threats to our library seriously and further investigate what the board member majority is doing. Thank you.
Anybody else? Alright, let's move on to the general correspondences for review. We have July's fire report. I never saw August today on the email. There's some explanations of some incident runs. Do you have questions?
No, somebody was telling me that a lot of the firemen are leaving the city fire department, unhappy with the new chief, and they're way down. I don't know that it's a fact, it's just.
That new chief's been there for, must be pushing 3 years now, hasn't it?
Just,
Some retiring or just
leaving
walking away? Yeah.
because
Some
of,
retired too.
yeah,
Well, another
they
thing,
said they were short-handed now.
another thing too is the state is piling on requirements for all the firefighters. It requires a lot of time and training, and a lot of volunteers don't have the time to do it, so that they're pushing them out too.
I just, hopefully they're not too short-handed.
I hope
Just
so too.
Just what I heard.
They cover a large area.
I know.
There's some EMS run numbers. Construction Code Authority, was there any questions on anything there? We are getting a new parking lot. We haven't, I haven't heard yet if we accepted a bid, but we gave the code official authority to, the only bid that we had in came at a certain price, and we gave him up to that price to spend. He had one more bid coming in later that week. And I haven't heard what's happening with that yet. We did hire a new attorney, Michael Gildner. And we don't keep them on retainer, we just pay them as we need them. So that's not even an attractive job for a lot of attorneys, but we're not gonna pay an attorney to come to our meetings, and it just not worth the money. We'll pay them when we need them. And now how about the police report, Dave?
Good evening, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
I'm sorry, GLTA.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't able to attend the meeting last month.
Okay, Dave, sorry.
Be on the wheels on the bus. All right, for August 2025, we took 227 complaints, which was an increase of 200 over July. Calls handled by other departments is 36. There was a lot of night activity going on. Motor vehicle collections were down for the month by 50%, which is good. Traffic stops, we had a reduction in that, but we had worked in other areas and there was a lot of extra property checks and stuff going on. Domestic trouble calls was just a slight increase over the month before. And there were 11 agency assists. We did 114 property checks compared to 62. 61 directed patrols compared to 84, and 73 subdivision checks over a previous month of 111. So a little bit of decline there, so we'll pick that up as time goes on. But we had other different complaints that we handled through the month. The 5 officers working for a total of 293 hours. We did not have training hours this month. I do have training hours set up for next month for continuing the MCOL's required continuing education credits, and this is a mandated class for mental health training to deal with people with mental health issues.
I'm glad to see accidents are down.
Yeah.
That's good.
A lot of other complaints were up though. I mean,
Yeah.
that took a lot of our time off the road and things of that nature.
I see gunshot complaints 1. Did you get any, was that on an uptick with goose season starting up?
No, the gunshot complaints, there was, a gentleman was on Hunters Creek Road, and he heard gunshots when he was in the woods, and he came out and found 8 shell casings on the side of the road, so somebody was just driving by shooting their gun off.
Van Hunters Creek Road or shooting pheasants off the side of the road.
Could have been shooting pheasants on the side of the road.
Get away from the hunt club.
There- There's two that hang out on Hunters Creek Road and Broker every day.
All the time.
Any questions for Dave?
Looks good,
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, sir.
busy, consistent number of hours.
County Commission report. Well, maybe he'll be here a little later. How about the minutes from the August 11th regular board meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve the, regular board meeting minutes for August the, 11th. Oh, no, that's. What is that supposed to be?
Yeah,
Yeah, August
August
11th.
11th.
Okay, yep, as presented.
I'll support.
Motion and support. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report. Nancy?
Last full week of tax collection before interest, well, actually Monday is the last day, but been pretty steady all day today, and I imagine it will continue through the week, and, you know, so far so good, no big problems.
You had a bunch come in the mail. this
Yep,
afternoon.
bunch of mail today, so.
Probably from the bank for lien holders.
Well, actually, a lot of residents, I'll get the mortgage payments over they send an e-file, and then I import them, so that's easier than it used to be, for sure, I mean.
Any questions for Nancy on the treasurer report?
I'll make the motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Motion and support. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Clerk's report. Sam?
Everything is pretty much the same, other than we've got three big road commission bills actually. Maple Grove Road.
Have they started that yet?
They've started to the point where they put in tubes. I've got a call in to Gabe last week asking, when is the project gonna start? I'm getting asked by people. I've got no return call.
It just said Maple Grove Road rehabilitation.
I think they've done some ditching, haven't they, Ingrid?
Done the ditching
Oh, they
and
have
the
some big-
trees,
big
and
road
then
in there. Not
the
big.
road signs are still up that say road closed, but, they took our name off of the Daily Road Commission.
You watch that?
Email?
Well, they posted on Facebook and
Yeah.
saying on this road we're doing this today and this we're doing this. We used to be on there.
Oh, you said you and Vaughn used to get the email, you don't get it anymore.
No, we never got
Facebook.
the email.
Yeah, there was two
Facebook.
different ones that
Oh,
both
Facebook.
just said Maple Grove rehabilitation.
So, I'll let you know as soon as I know when they're starting it. I have not heard. And give us the updated number, Sam, for the bills, for the total number between the two?
I gave it to you.
97,433.88.
Well, I gave it to you, I didn't write
I
it
was
on myself.
asking you.
I said it out loud to you.
Oh, I never.
Since
got that.
Nancy's got it, you
Yep,
should make the
yep.
motion.
You can.
I will.
You
I
got
make a
it.
motion to pay the bills in the amount of $97,433.88.
Support.
We have motion and support to pay the bills, in the amount of $97,433.88. Is there any further discussion? Sam, will you poll the board?
Nancy?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Phil?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Sam? Yes.
Those are paid. The audit approval, Eric, if you'd like to come up here, feel free to do so.
That's for you.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, we've got our packets.
There are 3 letters in the front of that packet. One was on your letterhead. Sam, Nancy, and Scott have already signed it. It's a management representation letter. You're making 40 representations to us that include things like you fulfilled your responsibilities set forth in the engagement letter, financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with GAAP. You've acknowledge your responsibility for design, implementation, and maintenance of internal control to prevent and detect fraud. If you're not aware of any fraud, that kind of thing. You've given us everything we've asked for, so that's been signed. Here is a second letter. On our letterhead, it starts out, we have audited the financial statements. About the third paragraph down, we do talk about a couple of new GASB statements that you implemented during the year. Statement 100 was accounting changes and error corrections. 101 was compensated absences. Both could have future ramifications, but they make no effect on this year's financial statements. We talked about corrected and uncorrected misstatements. There were no disagreements with management, that type of thing in this letter. Third one there is basically the same one we've issued over the last couple of years. It talks about material weaknesses and significant deficiencies.
Just for the record, we get those every year.
Yes. The segregation of duties is small office. It's very hard to segregate duties. We just point it out as part of our responsibility.
I just don't want people sitting out here thinking, well, they're really screwing things up.
Right.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So basically, they said we need more people to take on these other.
You need a controller.
That is what you would need to do, is you'd have to have multiple other people here to fully segregate.
In a controller's office, basically.
Yeah. And it's probably not worth the cost to you.
Not at all.
Being taken care of.
With that, I'll move into the blue book, not the graph shot.
Yep.
Put your graphs away.
Not the grass.
Okay.
There's no crayon, it's not a color.
Our report is on Roman numerals 1 and 2. Second paragraph on Roman numeral 1 says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. With respect to financial position of the governmental activities, each major fund, the aggregate remaining fund information of the Township of Lapeer as of March 31, 2025. It's a clean opinion, best we can give you. Big, long, run-on sentence, I didn't keep the whole thing. Talks about our basis for the opinion, your responsibilities for the financials, our responsibilities for the financials. Next, we'll look at Roman numeral 4. This is part of the management's discussion and analysis. It contains a condensed version of financial statements, major statements. Bottom of Roman numeral 4 is a condensed version of the statement of net position or a balance sheet. It shows a 2-year comparison there. You have about $3.8 million in total assets. Compared to last year, it was also 3.8. That stayed fairly steady. Your total liabilities is about $700,000. Compared to last year, it was $852,000. Vast majority of that is road bonds and ARPA funds that have not yet been paid out. Overall, your net position increased by about $100,000 for the year. Top of Roman numeral 5 is a condensed version of your statement of changes in that position or an income statement. You can see year to year, your total revenues dropped about $133,000. The biggest drop in that is you recognize it's being spent and when it's being spent. You recognize that revenue as you spend it. So it actually just offsets some of the expenses below. Your expenses did increase over the 2-year period by $150,000. You did more road work. That's the biggest change there. So again, it shows a change in that position of about $100,000. Details of all that can be found in the following 30 pages or so. If you want to go over any of that, we can. Otherwise, give me a call at a later date and we can also discuss it then.
I'd like you to read the last sentence on page 29 so that our public knows where we stand.
The township had no expenditure over budget. Sorry, the township had no expenditure budget overruns for the year ending March 31, 25.
Which means we're doing a pretty fiscal good job.
Ladies, you're doing good.
Thank you.
Now we can take a look at your picture.
No.
Oh, I don't want to.
He's not interested now.
How did I see that color?
Is that what Bill Marshall just said?
Yeah.
I do agree the ladies are doing a very good job, Bill.
Well, thank you.
You second that motion?
Come on, give me a little love here.
Well, yeah, and the boss.
That's Sam.
Exactly.
Sorry, Eric, go ahead.
The first one shows a 2-year pie chart comparison of your revenues by source. You can see while there was not a big change in total, there was also not a big change in where it was coming from. It's still mostly made up of state shared revenue and property taxes.
From what I'm hearing, those state shared revenues are on their way down.
The second one there is a 10-year comparison pie chart of state shared revenue and the property taxes separately side by side there. And you can see there was a slight decrease in 2025 over 24 of the state share revenue. Very slight.
Well, it also gave a very slight drop from 23 to 24 as well.
It was.
I think that's gonna be a continuing trend, huh?
When I looked at the website, it said they were going up, but it looked like that the last couple of years too, and they ended up down. So it's a trend, they might be decreasing. The next one is a 10-year total of the state shared revenue and property taxes. And even though the state share has been dropping ever so slightly, your total revenue from those two sources is up slightly. The next one is a 2-year pie chart comparison of your expenditures for the last couple of years. Again, while there wasn't a lot of difference in the totals, there also was not a difference in where you're spending it. The next one's a 10-year comparison of the same expenditures. And we have a 10-year comparison showing your revenues versus your expenditures total for those 10 years. You can see which years you brought in a little bit more and which years you spent a little bit more. And the final one's the 10-year on an uptick for the last 3 or 4 years.
With the way the expenses of road work is going on increasingly higher, those numbers will start coming down. Any questions for Eric? Well, we do appreciate your hard work on this.
Yes.
I would entertain a motion to approve the audit and place it on record.
I'll make that motion.
No
As
support.
presented.
Motion and support to approve the audit as presented and place it up on record. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now, is that all you need is to hear us say that, or do you need minutes?
Just needed to hear it.
Okay.
It's always been in the minutes later, so.
Yeah.
Well, I will post this up tomorrow. Your F-65 is also ready, so you can do that as well.
Thank you.
I think they did a very good job,
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks.
all of them, including Scott.
Well, we're not sure about Scott.
In the direction of these ladies.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks.
All right, and I don't see the guy here. We have a organization, a softball coach that coaches softball. It's called the Lapeer Lightning Travel Team for softball, girls softball. And he's wanting to rent the hall as a fundraiser, which no issues. He wants to have like a silent auction here. No issues with that whatsoever. But part of this whole gala, as you might call it, everybody is bringing their ATVs. And they're going to start from the parking lot and they're going to go ride roads that are legal for ATVs. They're going to be gone for 3 or 4 hours and then come back here and have some dinner and their auction. So as we talked in the office, there was concerns about our obligation legally to these ATVs in our parking lot. And I can shove them all in here. This is the letters. Yeah. This is Eric's letters, and I shoved all my other stuff in here. I called MTA and asked them if we needed to do anything special to protect ourselves. I've talked to you about this, and when I talked to him on the phone, John Johnson, our Assura guy,
Insurance.
Acrisure, it used to be Burning Flower.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had talked about, boy, I'd like to see you at least get a hold harmless agreement with everybody that's taking an ATV, leaving from our parking lot. With the understanding that ATVs are legal, they're legal to be on the road. So we finally got the response from the risk management team today. And I'm not thinking that this hold harmless thing is a bad idea. You can pass that down, and this is just what we came up with. It's something simple, but their opinion today was, since the township is not sponsoring this event, I don't know if a waiver would be necessary.
I mean, what's the difference between that and people leaving in their cars and coming back? I mean, they're,
Just because a little more shenanigans happen than ATV.
well, I do like the idea of, no riding on township grounds.
Well, that was in there.
It don't hurt to have it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they leave here and somebody goes down the road and has an accident, you know, they always sue all the way back
That's right.
to the starting point, and we're it. So if they hold us harmless,
But would you like, if this guy decides to rent the hall in November, would you like to see this as part of his hall rental agreement, this hold harmless agreement that we have not ran past an attorney, we just made it up?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. I mean,
I
can't hurt anything.
I gotta think that a lot of people would not, maybe they don't even have insurance on those things. But there's worth so much money, you would think they would have insurance.
but the insurance on those
But
is
liability.
similar to a car insurance,
Yeah.
which is expensive.
Which I explained to you the other day. I insure mine.
It's not like a boat insurance policy.
Yeah, you're
You
insured
get
for,
out of body of water, and you're not gonna be able to run into things, but, yeah, the ATVs or UTVs, whatever you wanna call them, their insurance is similar to a car insurance, especially when they're on the public roads.
I can say the liability part is what type of liability do they have on like a car? or something?
Mine was back in 1999 and 2000 when I started insuring mine. I had personal liability and property damage for $20,000 and $40,000. Now heck, a car is $100,000, $300,000
Right.
or even more than that. I also have insurance for repairs of my vehicle, should I wreck it. I recommend to Scott that they at least add some sort of PLPD insurance on it. I mean, although it's not a township sanctioned thing, it's just a good idea. That's what insurance is for, in case you need it.
Does the association itself have insurance?
This is just a softball coach. I wouldn't think this is an
This is
association
a
whatsoever.
dad off the softball team.
This is the dad that volunteered to coach. This isn't a softball league.
Okay.
This is just a team. Just like if I were to coach my kids' team, I'm not gonna carry insurance to be the coach.
I think it's a good idea.
They might be getting in a little over their head, wanting to
Do
have
that.
people bring those vehicles here and send them out on the road. I don't know, maybe they need to look at what they're doing.
I did let them know that there was no alcohol allowed on the grounds.
And this girls softball team can't have.
Their dads and moms can't.
How old are the people?
They're high school, they're high school.
High school.
Yeah, good idea then. No alcohol.
I mean, and they know that somebody has to stay in the building the whole time everyone
Yep.
else is riding?
They know the building must be occupied the whole time. And they said those people would be setting up the silent auction and getting the food tables set up and all that stuff. So I'm hearing you'd like to see them, each person sign this paper.
Yes.
And there's no guarantee they're even renting. The guy was supposed to be here at this meeting tonight to answer questions.
Well, they may not when they have to. do
Maybe
that.
he's already reconsidered,
Yeah.
changed his mind.
So,
But yeah, I think it's a good idea.
well, we will go forward with this whole harmless deal if
Might
they
just-
rent the hall.
Let's have the attorney look at it, just in case.
Okay.
Might want to change some wording.
I did notice, because they sent a host list, that whole packet full of special event paperwork with their opinion.
Yeah.
When you're having special events, and the only thing that they put different, I saw in their whole harmless clause, was the word bodily injury and or death. They had, and I don't have the word death on there. I did
Well-
see that on theirs.
Personal injury, property damage, okay, personal injury.
So,
I don't think they need the word death in there. Myself.
well, we'll let Mike look at it and.
Don't hurt me, take a
Yes,
piece.
pretty short, just email it to him and
Yeah.
see what his response is.
Okay.
I'll see him tomorrow.
Yeah,
But I
take-
think we will wait to do that until we hear back from these people, see if they're
Yeah.
renting the hall.
Kind of what's going on.
Right. Exactly. All right, so that's all there was to that. We have our flag service renewal contract. This total price of $510 is the exact same price that we paid last
Say,
year.
it seems like we just did that. Is it gone that, I got last?
It's, age is like a roll of toilet paper. Faster it goes.
So I'd make the motion to continue with Rocket Enterprise Incorporated to take care of our United States and our Michigan flag and flagpole.
I'll support.
Motion and support. Is there any further discussion?
I think they do a good job.
I do too. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I hate that they call this an invoice, but it's the Lapeer Development Corporation looking for their donation for their work that they do. We used to do $1,000, and then I think we went a few years and didn't donate anything at all. And then recently we went back to donating them $500 a year. So that's what our invoice is for, is $500. We do have it budgeted in the budget, because that was an expense last year.
As long as we've got it budgeted, I'll make the motion that we contribute $500.
I'll support.
Motion support to approve the donation to Lapeer Development Corporation for $500. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I wish that they would send somebody to talk to us.
Yeah.
Say, what are we getting for?
What have we done in Lapeer? How's our money been spent towards
They
Lapeer
used-
Township?
Somebody used to
projects?
come out. Maybe, send them a blank check with an invitation.
That will be available for next meeting.
All right, Samantha, we have cemetery plot buybacks that you sort of fill the board in a little bit before the meeting.
Yeah, I just have two people that they'll never probably be buried here, they don't live here. The cemetery plots were bought for them, so they were interested in selling them back, but there's no paper records, nothing of receipt of their burial lot purchase, which having no records isn't out of the ordinary, because with it being passed from owner to owner, caretaker to caretaker, I've just got scraps of what everyone else had.
Wrote it down on a napkin or
Wrote it on a sticky note.
handshake.
I only have the original purchase of the two people who supposedly bought it for them, their own plots.
How many years back was that?
That was 2000.
And like we talked about, the Byers family is who
Owned it.
had the cemetery
Right.
before it came to the township.
Right.
And I think the township, Barb, Anita, and Bob, and the trustees, I think that they agreed to give the Byers family a plot. That's why I can't figure out what those charges are for right there that Sam has for 2 sites. But
Unless he, I mean, who knows, unless the ones they originally bought,
and then the board gave them a family site because they
maybe
were
gave them some and they just put themselves in the ones they bought for the son and the stepson
So how
and
do you give
daughter.
them money back for something that
Yeah,
was
I
given
just
to them?
don't, there's no way,
It was gifted.
Yes.
yeah. So,
the only value to them is if you're buried here. And there's no selling back what you
Right.
ever bought.
It was never sold.
If they would like to donate them back to the township, that we would take them, but we're not gonna give any money for that unless they can produce us a
they
receipt.
can't. I asked him. The only thing they have is like a map of where the plots were.
Yep.
They have no burial rights certificate.
And we don't have anything either.
No.
So we can't sell them either.
Right, well.
We can sell them to
If
somebody
they're
new.
given back to us,
If they're
yes.
given back.
Yes, yes,
Otherwise, they sit there empty.
yeah.
I would say that's part of what happened, was what Scott was talking about.
Right.
They turned that cemetery over to the township, and whoever the board was at the time says, we're gonna give you this
Yeah.
in exchange.
Yeah.
Well, because
So
when,
they did, bill of sale.
when they were buried, Nancy or Robert, there were minutes where somebody had asked to have the fee of the openings like waived, but because of state law, they charge $1 for each of them to be buried. So you can't
I was
tell.
here
I
then.
might remember.
I was here then.
What's that?
I might remember.
No, I was during Barb, I was here when they did that. Yeah.
And I was coming to meetings when they were
Yeah.
talking about it, because I remember,
It was Nancy wanting, Robert was getting buried, and she wanted some, reprieve from the cost. And they said, okay, we can't give you the grave opening, but we can give it to you for $1. So, it was her husband they were buried.
trust me, it wasn't no fair swap.
Yeah.
The cemetery
It
for
was
grave sites,
moved
because,
by Rutson, support by Taylor.
okay, so it was our board.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was our board then.
Mhm. Yeah.
There was Dawn, Lori, and myself. And
Yes, no,
Dawn,
one was
yeah.
Dawn. So,
Yeah. I remember that.
I guess maybe I should have asked her. She's just here.
I think Dawn will tell you the same thing I just
See
told
if she
you.
remembers. Yeah, I just don't think we can do it. No. I told them I'll ask the board if they have any input, but
Do you want for your minutes a motion that you can refer back to for this?
I don't know what the motion to be. It's pretty simple that there's just no records of a sale, so
Mhm.
you can't produce a check for a refund when there was no.
Money coming in, so you don't have
And
money
then
going
when
out.
you sell back a site, you get back what you paid for.
Yeah.
You don't get today's prices, you
No.
get what you paid for.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so you're comfortable? We are back to public time.
It's me again. Sorry. I realize at least some of the township board have said that you have no control over the library board. Yet you're the ones who appointed Ms. Brotzke to the board. Because of this, you do have at least some responsibility to make sure she and her board member colleagues are doing what they're supposed to, which is working to support the library and its staff. One thing I'd ask you to do is have Ms. Brotzke give you a written document detailing exactly what she and her colleagues plan to do in the library and how they plan to do it. And in this document should also include all of the books they want to censor, along with their justifications as to why they are targeting these books. There needs to be some sort of oversight. I suspect Ms. Brotzke will say they don't have to do this, which may be the case. However, unless you have a detailed document you can read through, you don't truly know what the board member majority are doing. In addition, an inability to present you, and by extension the public, with written documentation of their plan indicates they are just saying and doing whatever is convenient in the moment, and avoiding having to be transparent about whatever it is that they are doing. If there is no oversight of the library board by the groups that appointed these people, then there is no accountability. The library board appointees are there to serve the community, not their own personal agendas. But unless those that gave them these positions push for more transparency, there's no knowing whether or not these board members are actually upholding the oaths they took and following through with representing the community they're supposed to be serving. Please consider the imminent threats to our library, and please look into these issues further. And I do have some flyers for you if you'd be willing to take them. That will give you some more information on what the librarians are actually supposed to do. And I also have a document that tells you like what the banning history of the library has been and how the background on that. So if any of you would be willing to take those, I'd be happy.
You can leave them on the table.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else at public time?
Yes. I just want to address what this young lady has just talked to you about. I've been to just about every library board meeting, and there is untruths in what she is saying. And also, they are not trying to ban books. They are trying to secure books that includes sexually explicit pictures from young children from the age of starting at 3, 4, 5, and that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to get them moved where the parents are aware of what are in these books, that these children are not picking up these books with sexually explicit information in them in a cartoon form. There is no banning that has ever been asked. There has been many untruths that have been spoken in the paper and over this whole 2-3 years. Also, unfortunately, the county press has also told a lot of untruths. So I plead to you, if you want a true picture of what goes on and what this board is trying to do, do not believe what this young lady is saying. Come to the library meetings and experience what they have to go through. And it is not pleasant that the harassment and the bitter comments and the uproar that is at those meetings. So I asked you, please, if you want a true picture, please come and see. Our board is trying to do their job. They've done everything they can, and they have met with countless barriers to try to accomplish good and right things for our library. And they do care about the library. They are not trying to destroy the library. They are just trying to make it better for our young people and the people in our community. Thank you.
What's the, you have an attorney at the, for the library board?
We do.
And
I'll just appreciate your kind words, Jerry, and a lot of what you said is absolutely true. A lot of what the speaker before you said is untrue. I don't want anybody to get confused with what the board is doing or plans to do with my challenges to books before I became a board member. Because now I am a board member, 1 of 7, and anything we do does have to get run by our attorney and voted on by the full board. So there's that. And asking me to produce a list of books that is not so. I'm not going to write down a list of books that there is no list of books. So I don't know what to say to that, but and you can, come to the meetings, of course. You can go to the website, just as you guys do. The minutes are approved. Everything that happened in the board meetings is on there. You will see that there's been nothing about banning books or moving books.
I don't often reply back to public time, but I will make one comment. When Peggy Brotzke was appointed as the library representative, this board made it very clear what we expect of her. And even though this board cannot take her off of that position,
Right.
I don't think our representative would want to know that we are disgusted or annoyed with what she's doing. She knows what we asked her to do.
I understand.
And we expect her to act on our behalf because she was appointed by us.
Right. And that's why I urge you to question whether or not that's actually happening. Please, you don't have to take my word for it. Please do your own investigation.
But you're stating that everybody on the board is opinionated, but you're opinionated. Your opinion is different than the other 7 people on the board. So when you're trying to say that, they're not acting in good faith of the library, but you're saying that you are acting in good faith. But that's just your opinion. So you're back to opinions against opinions. And they were voted in. You guys had your reign. The people before had their reign. They got voted out. They got moved out. And, as far as I'm concerned, this is a debt issue coming to our township when you live in another township. Go there and complain.
Just one point back. I actually, yes, this is my opinion, but I also am backing it up with facts. So that makes a difference, I think.
Well, I don't know about the facts. You haven't presented any.
Anything else?
Opinion.
I'm Susan Huff. I live in Metamora Township, and I know Peggy. I know Jenny from board meetings, etc. And I think they both have very good intentions. However, number one, we have a fabulous library. If you haven't been there lately, I'd encourage you to go visit it. It's full of families and children who feel safe in that library because our laws keep materials that are harmful to children out of our library. We don't have obscene materials in the library. We don't have pornographic materials in our library available to children. These books they're talking about are books that you and I might not choose to read, but other people in our community might choose to read. They might need to read, they might want to read, but they're books that are in the adult section. And for a young child, they're talking about these 3, 4, 5, 6-year-olds to go upstairs by themselves. They can't even be in the library by themselves if they're under 10. And search the stacks for these books is just not even conceivable. So you have to wonder why this is. The board member who was here tonight referred to her challenges prior to the time you appointed her. That particular board member has been involved in several other things that have also been, I'm going to just say, putting the library in a negative light instead of supporting the library. I'm a believer that if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. And if you read the laws, you will learn that the term ban is an umbrella term. And it refers to restricting books, sequestering books, reducing access to books, and those are some of the things that our board has actively researched doing, and that is a fact. We have documentation of that. So they are looking to do things that would restrict access. But our books in this library are, believe me, up to your standards. If you haven't been there yet lately, please take time and go into D'Angeli, go into Metamora, go into Hadley, walk through, pull books randomly off the stack, and see what you find. And I think you're going to find it's a very different picture as far as intentions. Again, the board member that you appointed has spoken publicly about needing to move books, sequester books, do something with a few books. And when asked respectfully for the titles of those few books, I was refused. So I know that in her application material, she told you that the previous Lapeer Township representative did not speak. Thank you for timing me. I hope you timed everybody else. Did not speak to answers. And we've gone back and forth a little bit here. So I just think that's a problem, and I think it's also a problem when we can't get information from the people that represent the entire district, not just your township. Our board represents the entire library district. Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Let's move on to the reports. EMS, Bill.
Okay, well, we just got an okay to start our third academy for EMTs. And the intermediate school district is starting their academy again. So that'll be, 5 of them so far. Let's see, looking into hire administrative assistant.
How many students do you, and I know you had a graduating class already. How
13. And the adult academy usually start out in the 20s, graduate around 14, 15. But the school pays for everything. We pay for the instructor. The school pays for everything else. So yeah, they're starting their second academy. We're looking to hire an administrative assistant because one assistant we have now works 7 days a week. Wow. Takes a half a day off on Wednesdays. So we're trying to get her some help. We got a high arsenic problem in a couple of the spaces that they're working on, that we rent, so we'll see how they're gonna treat the wells and see if we get that straightened out.
I don't know if you treat the wells for that, you use a filter on the.
Or whatever they need to do, sometimes they use with
Can I make
bleach
a
and.
comment to that? Because I live up on Myers Road. Years ago, I had arsenic in my well.
Pretty prevalent.
All along from the west side of the state
Yeah.
to the east side of the state. And the filters of those, I did look into filtering systems, can be very, very expensive.
Yeah, we're checking into that right now, we just got the report of the arsenic,
Yeah.
we're gonna get some bids and, see how we.
Because my daughter had health issues years ago, and this is 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty prevalent.
So we drink bottled water.
Yeah, east of town, east of Lapeer, there's been a lot of arsenic.
It's all over.
Got a history of it over there.
Other than that, everything's going great.
Is there anything on the planning commission?
I know, we did have a meeting again last month, looks like we got one coming up this month.
Yep, and just to inform the two of you and the clerk and the treasurer, I should have said something at public time, but I didn't. We are getting very poor attendance at our MTA meetings that we hold every other month. And I've suggested to the secretary to call the clerk of to email the clerk of each township to get everybody on the board's email address, so that at least you are aware of those Michigan Township Association meetings. If you choose to go, you can.
Okay.
So
I'll ride with you.
we're just looking to get more attendance at those
When's
meetings.
this month?
The next one is in October,
Are they like every other month?
every other month.
Okay.
I'll let us know.
Yeah, I've gone to some of them, some of them are pretty informative.
Well, especially if you have
Especially
the
with the
agenda
commission.
and you will know what who the speaker is. You
Yeah.
might say, yeah, I wouldn't mind coming to that meeting. I've even had Ingrid come to, her and Vaughn came to one MTA meeting when the road commission annual meeting, they were there.
Yeah, that's the one that's kind of interesting.
That's the only one that gets attended,
Yeah.
but,
Let's fix the roads.
I'm trying to, I'm the chairman now, so
Oh.
it's looking bad on me, nobody's coming to these meetings. So hopefully we can do something about that. Announcements are at the bottom of the page. Planning Commission meeting is September 22nd. Next board meeting will be October 13th at 8:30 in the morning. Meeting adjourned. Oh, just knock your pen in your lap.
Got it.
Let me know if you get an answer on the.
I will. I got your number on my desk. I will let you know when I know. Thank you all for coming.
I did meet Vaughn last month.
I know, I heard that.
They did find the horse, but
You didn't?
the horse was corralled in somebody else's pen. We did find the owner.
Oh, okay.
It took a couple hours, but.
Yeah, well, every once in a while, we ended up with an extra cow. That was a few years ago, but,
Right.
so, yeah, he wasn't quite that big, but, and I called my husband, I said, this cow just showed up, and it would hear ours, moving, so it came in and it turned out to be a neighbor that couldn't keep it home, so,
Was that? Did they come from Peppermill Road?
yeah.
Did it come from Weisington's?
I don't know the name, the guy.
The big brick house, there's a house back behind it. They would always
No.
raise 2 beef every year for themselves.
No, it wasn't them. They had other issues. They couldn't get their cows taken care of, and then they called wanting to know if they could bring them over and get them vetted, and Vaughn said, no, you're not bringing your cattle over here, Dagger.
No, absolutely not.
And then they said, well, that won't work on it if they don't have head shoot. It's like, well, I can't help you. And they were sick, so I don't know if they lost them or not. Hate to be rotten, but,
Can't blame you. You can't bring a sick cow to your farm and get work done. It don't work very well. Get your cows all sick.
Yeah.
so, yeah, so,
Good night, Janelle.
Vaughn, had a triple bypass.
You did. You doing okay?
Yeah, Yeah, finally, I had some complications, but I just got home today. So, our other projects are on hold till spring.
Keep him in bed for a while and getting better.
I'm thinking that, you know, you can watch them in October and maybe one of you guys can have them in November.
We'll sign up. When we see the sign up sheet, we'll sign on to it.
Yeah.
You can come full of newsletters.
Oh, yeah, nothing more than 10 pounds. So if you get a police report that says call to that house, you'll know what's going on. Somebody's killing somebody else, and I don't know which way it's gonna go.
All I know is through my conversations with him, he buries horses and things like that.
Yep.
As part of his side job.
Yep.
So my money's on you because you probably taught him how to do it, so.
Yeah, no, but he's got all the equipment, so the best thing is to look for a cow missing, because if you got a cow missing, then probably a person's missing.
Look for the fresh ground.
Yeah, for the fresh cow, so. Anyways, so we're down to the year.
Well, good luck with them.
Cemetery plots.
Hey, if they wanna.
So the barn project is off
Can they sell
until
cemetery plots?
Yeah.
next spring.
Have you been by?
They're numbers, can they sell those
Yeah.
cemetery
Okay.
plots?
Yeah, because he started digging it out, we were using
But they can get
dirt
to
for
somebody else?
other low areas and the pastures and stuff, and so he's digging the backside so he can't see on the front side, kind of.
They're either stuck or just donating back.
But he's still got a whole wall up.
My dad just
And,
asked that 3 days ago.
No, I'm not gonna tackle that,
One of those
so.
things that you just.
Getting better, that's the main
Where's
thing.
that plot?
Yeah.
No.
All right, Scott, thank you.
Take care.
Didn't expect, I knew the time was coming, I
I
just
just
didn't know.
wanted to thank you
Just
for the
creeps up on me so fast.
And I appreciate Sam's doing her job during public time when she's timing. But then I just watched someone that's not been recognized talk back and forth to someone in the audience. I think you're being a little more casual, and that maybe I'm not gonna be exactly tied to my 3 minutes. So I apologize for going slightly over my time, and I appreciate your time.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
I've got the flyers up there then.
What's that?
Yeah, you can't transfer those, the original plan.